Greetings, Sagradianos, to another episode of Remember Me Daily Readings for Lent. I will read to you the Wednesday after the third Sunday in Lent. Seek not to penetrate into futurity, neither encourage a habit of anticipating good or evil. Our trials do not always come from those occasions we may have foreseen. God frequently takes us by surprise, and sometimes in those objects on which we most fondly rest our hearts, and in these moments when we think ourselves most secure, the evils which we have imagined for ourselves often vanish before the eye of reason, and it is not in our own power to choose where the blow shall fall. Let then the obedience of every day be your daily bread. Live upon the will of your God. He provides for you celestial manna. Be satisfied with it. It is not in your power to lay it up in store or to say how much of it God shall give you. All that you have to do is to use it in such proportions as you receive it. Strive to live your life in peace, simplicity, and resignation. Place your hopes of happiness in God and not in his creatures, and you will then be secure, for on him you may rely with full confidence. This is by Felenon, and to end the reading is do things with holy simplicity, without regard to anything but to please God. This is by Scupoli. Um, great, great reading today, actually. Um, just wanted to go back and talk about the opening. Seek not to penetrate into futurity. Futurity. There we go. Neither encourage a habit of anticipating good or evil. Futurity. That's a new word for us. Futurity. But yeah. God frequently takes us by surprise. Um, Obviously, I'm not telling you people to like party it up every day, right? Not telling you to do that. Obviously, we should live as prudently as possible, but I think it means, um, don't be focusing too hard on the future, right? Like, let then the obedience of every day be your daily bread. Live upon the will of your God. And I actually quoted. This is from Matthew, I think the end of, forgot which chapter, should have wrote it, but I actually quote this from the Bible. Be not therefore solicitous for tomorrow, for the morrow will be solicitous for itself. Sufficient for the day is evil thereof. So even Christ tells us not to focus too much on tomorrow, and maybe that's, I have too much of a fixation with planning and all that, but um, one of the best mantras that I've been trying to adopt is, do things day by day, and it's true, day by day. That's that's the only thing that we're guaranteed. I think in the previous episode we were talking about how maybe the previous episode or the day before, right? I think it was the day before that tomorrow is a gift, right? We're not owed tomorrow. We don't deserve tomorrow. And today could be our last day. Today could be our last day. We could be living our last days and not even know it. So don't focus too much on tomorrow. I wish somebody had properly told me this when I was younger. Like not to, because what's your plan? What's your plan? And I feel like when talking about this, right? I think there's too much of an emphasis with tomorrow, getting children to worry about why, even like 11-year-olds, what's your career? What are you gonna do? But which like kind of, it is important to have an idea, but I think the best thing that we should do is, yeah, take things day by day, man. Like for especially for, I mean, it's not just for children, but I would say for children, like, your goal is not to like, I want to be an astronaut. That's not your goal for a child, and it's for everyone. Like your goal is not how am I going to reach this grand goal tomorrow, because you don't know, things could happen, things can get in the way and could stop you. Your goal is to just get your goals done for today. And I say this because a lot of people my age, a lot of my contemporaries, they're very depressed, and they're depressed because They never reached the goals that they had for themselves when they were children. They never lived day by day. All they were focusing on is tomorrow. And I think this over focus on tomorrow gets people, ironically enough, um, over planning for tomorrow does cause laziness, does cause procrastination. And it does that because, like, when's tomorrow? We don't know when tomorrow is, right? And I'm talking about if you're planning something this day, that day, we don't know when that day will come. And you can procrastinate as long as you want, because in your pride and all that, well, I can fool around today. It's okay. And I'm still on track. No, right? Forget about that. The best thing that we can do is, right? What it tells us in this reading: strive to live your life in peace, simplicity, and resignation. Place your hopes of happiness in God and not in His creatures, and you will then be secure. Right? Was that, yeah, Wednesday, right? Yeah, don't do that. Like, don't overplan. And of course, again, like, I'm not telling you to be frivolous with your money or be frivolous with your, no. We have goals for today and we should do it. What's the goal for today? Instead of worrying, what's the goal for tomorrow? What's the goal for this week? What's the goal for today is what you need to do, right? If you don't do the goals for today, you will be a failure for today. I wish somebody had told me this when I was younger, right? I used to be a procrastinator in school. I never did any of my homework. I'm like, oh, I can do it later. I can do it later. I can do it. No, it's oh, if we have a project to do at the end of the week, well, it's the project is due Friday. It's Monday. Well, I can do it on Tuesday. Well, I could still Wednesday's plenty of time. Well, I'm that talented that I can do it on Thursday. No, it's get something done today. Get something right today. Today. How much are we going to be doing it today? That's what we should do, right? By basically, if I were to go back in time and tell myself, like, if the project is ready, is due on Friday, dude, the project is if the project is due on Friday, basically you need to get done with it today. And if you fail, and it's a good way, because if you fail, at least you got, who knows, maybe you've got half of it done. Who knows? But yeah, I think, like, we have an overemphasis on tomorrow, looking over to, like, the future instead of looking over today. And there's a lot of things that we can do today. There's a lot of things that we can do today that that we shouldn't procrastinate over. But it's a good reading, very insightful. Very kind of makes me look back at the things that I felt to do and why I did it. And it's just basically, yeah, like, I just worried about tomorrow too much. I Not worried. I depended on tomorrow too much, and I should start depending on just today, because it's only today that I have. But with that further ado, hope you guys Lent's going well. Pray for me as I'll pray for you. And until the next episode, take care and God bless.